Halloween is right around the corner. And what's the most important part of Halloween? Yes, the decorations. But let's be honest, some decorations are just better than others. That's why I made this. A 3D printed mimic box that has a little surprise when you open it.
It started like any other good design, with a sketch. Then I needed to engineer the inside. After a few considerations, I landed on a slide mechanism. A rubber band is attached to the front loop and pulls the slide up and down like so. With the mechanical parts done, it's time to make it look good. Or as good as I can. Like with all my builds, I got my iPad out and got to work. Then I had to fuse all my models together. For this, Blender is the best option. And finally, time to print. Or at least test print.
Alright, first print done. I'm glad I did the 50% test first because there were some issues. First, the hinges were too thin. They broke off almost instantly. Second, the print orientation was off. Teeth hole fused together and made it almost impossible to get them in.
I ended up doing most of my edits in Blender, so that was a pain. But I eventually figured it out. I rotated the top to allow the teeth holes some room to breathe while they printed. For the base, I opted to print it with teeth. But I wanted white teeth. I'm too poor for a multicolor printer. But if you go down and click the like and subscribe button, maybe one day I can afford it. But for now, I'll just have to use the nifty little pause and swap trick. Even without a fancy printer, those teeth turned out great, and so did the rest of it. I printed the top teeth individually, but there's one thing to think about. No two teeth are the same. So I had to create a label system to keep myself straight. Now that the printing was over, it's time for the fun part. Sanding and painting.
I ran out of filament and I had to do a different color red. I don't know how much is going to come up with the camera, but they're both the same red, but they're distinctly different.
I started with a light primer base. Then a base of brown over the entire piece. Then it was to the brushes. I started with this light brown. I brushed it on, and then I did a quick dry brushing to blend the colors in. And then I switched over to acrylic paint pen. I used silver for the metal bands. And gold for the lock. Once the paint was dry, it was time to show some teeth. The bottom teeth might be done, but the top still needs some work. I might not be a dentist, but these teeth were starting to look pretty good to me. Now that the teeth were done, it was time for these pesky hinges. I found that it was easier to print them separately and glue them on in the assembly after my first failure. A quick coat of lacquer spray to seal in the paint. Then a black wash to bring out the bits of detail. And the final piece, the surprise tongue. The rubber band was a pain to get in, but eventually I got it. just like that, my mimic was alive.
But this is for Halloween, so you know we have to put it to the scare test. Not scared? No?
Yeah, you wanna see something?
Hey. Well, it's probably not the scariest thing ever, but it was a fun build. If y'all are interested in building the same thing, you can find all my files over on my printables page. And now time for the glamour shots.